Here we go. In 3, 2. Hey, what's going on? You know what time it is this week in sports. Uh, in this particular week in sports, we got Johnny Depp and Amber Heard going back and forth. And just kidding. No, Oilers play tonight. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the great mamas out there, including ours, the best mama there is. And so we're going to be going over there soon, having a good time. But also watching game. What is it? Game 5 or no? Game 4. Sorry, L.A. Kings, Edmonton Oilers. We're in L.A. We win tonight. We'll go up 3-1. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be tremendous. I cannot wait. I'm gonna do some updates or just look at the predictions I made last episode. I want to see how many of these are actually correct. I've been kind of busy the last few days, but also going on tonight is the Leafs and Tampa. They're either going to go up 3-1 or Tampa's going to tie it 2-2. And I think the Wild and the Blues are playing right now, which we should throw on the TV. Caleb, if you could, throw in that game. That's tied 1-1. I was watching the first period. The Blues were taking it to the Wild, though. I think the shots were like 18-4 in the first period or something crazy like that. But also the Blue Jays played today. We lost 4-3. We gave up a run in the bottom of the 8th inning to the Guardians, formerly known as the Indians, and so we lost 3 of 4 against Cleveland. Yesterday was a doubleheader. We took one of them, and we lost the second one, and then we lost on Thursday as well. So the Blue Jays come home to face New York, a couple games, and then Tampa. So the schedule's not getting any easier, but we have a couple of off days. We had like 20 games in a row there, and we did all right. Like we're still obviously in the mix of things, and it's still early, but we're only like 3 games back or whatever of the division lead. But I was watching the Blue Jays game today. Excuse me, and we played pretty well. You want to throw in the Wild and Blues game? It's a pretty close game, and it's score wise, the shots are way off. But so Blue Jays playing every day, so there's always updates on there. Teoscar Hernandez is back, which is huge. Danny Jansen's getting closer. So hopefully this is a good week for the Jays upcoming here this week in sports. This week in the Blue Jays repertoire. Hopefully we get to string some more wins together and keep pace with the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. I almost called them the Lightning because the Lightning are playing tonight as well. So on to my predictions and the NHL playoffs. I just want to see what these series are at here. So we'll start in the East like we did last time, and I called Florida over Washington in 7. As it stands at the time of this recording, Washington is leading 2-1 in the series. They destroyed the Panthers yesterday on, I guess that would be Saturday. They destroyed the Panthers 6-1. In fact, I was so busy, and yesterday was kind of a write-off for me. I played baseball, and then I was so tired after that I just passed out. But yeah, the Capitals, like just the Florida Predator. I was calling them the Florida Marlins. I'm like in between 2 sports right now.
Too many sports.
Too many sports. Too much sports this week. No, the Florida Panthers. They came out of the East with the best record, so I figured it'll be a good series against Washington. That's why I called it in 7. But Capitals taking it to them 6-1 yesterday. It's pretty huge. The Carolina Boston series. I called Boston in 6. However, it's tied 2-2. Oh, yes. That was from yesterday. I'm just getting caught up on these scores because, like I said, yesterday was a bit of a write-off for me. Boston, yeah. So I had Boston at 6. So if Boston wins the next 2, that prediction will be all right. So that prediction is still intact. Toronto, Tampa. I had Tampa in 6. Maple Leafs are up 2-1 right now. So for my prediction to become completely correct, Tampa would have to win the next 3, which if I'm keeping it real, which I have to, Toronto playing pretty well, And so, I mean, for Tampa to take three in a row, they'd have to change something drastically because Toronto's been looking like they kind of know what they're doing for the first time in the playoffs that I've ever seen. I can't literally kill them. I can't remember the last time I seen Toronto play good in the playoffs or like play like they knew what they were doing. This might be the first year. Um, a little note on that series. I haven't been watching too closely. I mean, I watch it, I throw it on because I love Chris Cuthbert, and he's the number one guy for Sportsnet. He's the commentator, and I just love the way he calls games. And he's he's probably my favorite commentator nowadays. And part of the reason being is because he used to do the Oilers playoff games when we used to face Dallas and always lose to them or whatever. But he would always do those big playoff games for us, and so his voice is always synonymous for me to playoff games. But yeah, so tonight though, probably going to catch some of this Toronto game over at the parents when we go see mom for Mother's Day. Dad's probably going to have on the Toronto game. I swear, if he has the freaking Toronto jersey on, oh, oh. So for those that don't know, my dad's like a huge Maple Leafs fan, and his reasoning is because growing up, he always loved hockey, as many Canadian kids do. But when he was growing up, Oilers didn't have a team. Edmonton didn't have a team. Sorry, there was no NHL team in Edmonton. So the Toronto Maple Leafs games would get broadcast across Canada. So that's why he's a Leafs fan. But we always go back and forth friendly, and I if you know me, you know that I do not like the Leafs at all. However, you got to keep it professional, especially if one day I get to the point where I'll be covering the Leafs or these teams that I don't like, right? You got to keep it neutral and shit, right?
And you said one of your podcasts back in 2022.
You hate
and quote,
fuck the Leafs.
Fuck the Leafs.
Yeah.
I hate them forever. If they ever ask me to have a job, I'll spit in their face.
hey, I did not say. I never said that. I may have said fuck the Leafs, but but they are the marquee team in Canada as far as NHL. So that's why Chris Cuthbert and Craig Simpson do their games. So they're the number one guys for Sportsnet. But obviously, I can keep it professional. But this is my podcast, so I can say what I want. Okay. New York Rangers and Pittsburgh. This one, I haven't actually seen any of these. I've seen part of. I can't remember which game I seen part of it, but this is the one I haven't been watching too closely. So I had Pittsburgh in 6, and this one actually looks intact. Pittsburgh's up 2-1. They holy shit! They took it to Rangers yesterday 7-4. They scored 7 spot on New York. So that one's intact. So all these are still technically intact as of the recording of this. They could change after tonight, but as of right now, in the Eastern Conference, I'm still good.
So really no update. Thanks for listening, folks.
Yeah, peace. Yeah, down to the next episode. Colorado versus Nashville. I had Colorado in 6. Oh my God. They're up 3-0. They took it to the Predators 7-3 last night. So I think I like my Colorado prediction. I don't know. 7-3. Yeah, I don't think it'll last. I don't think it'll last 6 games. So that might change very, very soon. Calgary and Dallas. This one's interesting. So I remember when I called Calgary, it was very, very reluctantly, and I wasn't about it because I never really called Calgary, but I was just looking at the stats, and Calgary's like so good this year. So I called Calgary in 5. I said Calgary in 5, but they lost again last night, so they're down 2-1. So in order for my prediction to be true, they'd have to win. Actually, no, it's not going to. That's the one that's going to be changed, actually, because, yeah, they're down 2-1, so it's going to at least 6 if Calgary wants to win. But they're down 2-1 in the series. The Stars have been playing really, really tight against them. The Stars have only given up 3 goals to the Flames through 3 games, which is quite impressive considering the regular season the Flames had. And I like our chances better against Dallas than I do Calgary, just as far as I could see us beating Dallas a little more, like without as much intensity and physicality, Because if we face Calgary, that shit's going like the distance. That's probably going 6-7 games, and whoever comes out of there is going to be fucking beaten to death, right?
Yeah.
But if we're facing Dallas, even though back in the day when I mentioned we were always getting beaten by Dallas, the team's completely changed. Obviously, it's been like 20 years, and I like our chances against Dallas because we don't have as much animosity against Dallas as we do Calgary. So I don't think it'd be as physical. And whatever team comes out of that, I like our chances against Dallas if we do face them in the second round. And we come out of there less fucking beaten up, opposed to Calgary. Because if we face Calgary, we come out of there, oh my god, be fucking injuries, bruises, and just carnage. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. See if that one will if Dallas can keep up their play against them, and they're the underdog, and they would be upsetting Calgary if they do come out of that series. Minnesota St. Louis. This one I was on the fence with. This is the game we have on right now. It's tied 1-1, second period. We got Mini's up. What is it? Mini's up 2-1 in the series. I had Minnesota in 6, so this one is still intact. This still could happen, but this is an interesting game because St. Louis is actually taking it to Minnesota in this particular game, but it's still only tied 1-1. I think they had like 6 minutes of power play time in the first period alone. There was there was a double minor, and then there was another penalty, and they only scored 1 goal. So I don't think that goal wasn't even on the power play either, actually. So Mini doing a good job of killing off some penalty time. And the marquee matchup, the one we all care about, the Edmonton Oilers versus the LA Kings. Oh shit. Before we get to that, I'm just watching this game live. St. Louis just scored their second goal on their 23rd shot of the game. Oh, and the few Blues fans. Oh no, that is in St. Louis. My bad. Yeah, they're loving it, but it's not as loud. It's not as loud as freaking these other cities, like our city specifically, man. On the watch party, man, you should have been there. It was freaking bumping. Little story on that in a second here. Going to the watch party on Friday. This past Friday, it was awesome. But L.A. and Edmonton. And I had Edmonton in 5, which still could happen. We've dominated them in the last 2 games. We've scored like 17 goals in 3 games, or something crazy, like 6, 8, and 3, which is 17. 17 goals in 3 games. Yeah. I think that's the most in the playoffs.
Record, yeah.
Yeah, and Evander Kane got a hat trick. And we're firing on all cylinders. That first game was a close game. The next 2 games, we dominated for like 5 of the 6 periods. They didn't even stand a chance. And I see no reason why LA would take game 4. I've seen nothing. Like, you'd think they would. There's obviously adjustments that have to be made in a playoff series when you're facing the same team over and over again. But I was thinking to myself earlier, if there were adjustments to be made, and if LA were going to make a few adjustments, they would have done it between game 2 and game 3. No,
we made our adjustments,
and yes, exactly, between game 1 and game 2, we just went back to the way we were playing throughout the season, but on another level.
Yeah,
like on another level, just like taking it to them with no mercy, just completely unrelentless, and just destroyed them for the last 2 games. Evander Kane with the Hattie, his first career playoff hat trick. What an addition to our team, man. He's been killing it since we got him. And yeah, we're putting up numbers that have. Oh, and there's a 3rd goal by St. Louis. Oh my goodness, it's rocking there now.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. That 3-1 St. Louis more than halfway through the game. So that might be tied at 2 by the time that we drop this. So you hear this. And look at those shots, like 24-9. It's just taking it to him. But yeah, so game 4 though, or no, game 3. Sorry, we went to the watch party, which was freaking awesome. It was only like $5. I went with my cousin, my sister, and my sister's friend. Excuse me. And as me and my cousin were waiting for my sister, I think they went to the bathroom or to the bar or some shit right like before the game started. Me and my cousin like kind of posted up in this area where it's like kind of hard to describe. There was like a table there. It was like at the top of the lower bowl. And there was like a table there and like some chairs. Obviously, like during normal games, those tickets would be super expensive. They're not like actually rows of seats. There was just like a kind of like an area there, and so we just posted up there, and I'm like, yeah, let's just chill. And then I don't know, a couple minutes go by, and then this usher, not like this managing usher or something comes up, and she's like, you can't. This section's not open. You can't stand here or whatever. And we're like, okay, that's fine. She's like, where's your tickets? I'm like, they're up there, but we're waiting for my sister. She's like, do you guys want to go on the go watch the game at the drinking rail? I'm like, yes, I love the drinking rail. It's like the best seats, not just for a live game, but even for these watch parties because you got to get your own exclusive TV like right in front of you.
What?
Yeah, like right there, you get your own TV. So instead of watching on the big jumbotron, you got your own TV right there, and you're still part of the crowd and everything. And you're on the drinking rail. You're at the top of the lower bowl, so you're able to go to get a beer. They call it a drinking rail for a reason. You can run to the bar and come back in like 2 seconds. No biggie. So we're watching the game, the drinking rail, for a few minutes, and like not even like 5 minutes into the game or something. The same. I think her name was, if I remember correctly, her name was Michelle. So shout out to Michelle. We really appreciate you. She came up to us again. She's like, "You guys want to go up to the Sky Lounge or whatever do they call it? There's like the exclusive section like in between the second deck or the first deck and the second deck, and they got like leather chairs. They got a cool view."
That's so
And we're like, "Yes, of course we would." So she escorts us up there. I think we take the elevator and whatnot, getting like the VIP treatment. And we're like, yeah, this is where it's at. We've got our own leather chairs, like right on the edge, perfect view of
That's so
everything.
sick.
It was so dope. It was so dope. And yeah, so we got to watch we got to
What a
watch the
good
game there.
game,
It was a
dude.
great game, and we just dominated them. It was like goal after goal. We scored 8. We put an 8
Yeah.
spot on them. And the funny thing is, like, they took out Jonathan Quick, who's a Stanley Cup champion, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. So he's a good goalie, but he's getting up there. We scored 4 on him. They pulled him. That didn't matter. We scored 4 on the other guy too.
Crazy.
It doesn't even matter what goalie you put in there. We destroyed him. We took it to him. And like I said, I have no reason to believe that we'll have anything less than the same type of performance tonight, because I haven't seen anything from LA to suggest otherwise, and I've seen nothing but good things from us. So we took the first game in LA. If we take both games in LA, holy shit, Tuesday's going to be rocking, man. Because that's when Game 5 will be. It'll be on Tuesday. So holy
Oh my
shit,
God.
dude! If we're up 3-1 going into that, it's gonna be nuts. Either way, it's gonna be nuts. So all but one of my predictions are still intact as far as the games of which I called them in. The one that's not intact is the Calgary versus Dallas, which is kind of surprising. Yeah, in other news, I mean, the NBA playoffs are still going on, but I haven't really watched too much of that, so I'm not going to really talk about that. But before I do leave y'all for a little bit here, just a couple other headlines before this week in sports history. Yeah, I can't believe the Stars won. Oilers impress. Oh yeah, well, CFL is not close enough to comment on that. There's a couple things of news in there, but that's okay. Oh yeah, Canucks and the Oilers. We both had a meeting with a star from the KHL, Kuzmenko. Supposed to be pretty good, so we might. He'll probably be in the NHL next year. He might be on our team, and if he's on our team, shit, like we're just getting better and better and better. Are we good there? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so the Jays, just going through these things. Teo's back, first career hat trick. Okay, yeah. So this week in sports history, I'll actually do a little story before I let y'all go. I guess it could be considered sport because it revolved around sport. It was I think it was 4 years ago. Me and my buddy Richard were in BC, and fuck, what a time that was. First time ever in my life where I had to hitchhike, and it wasn't even planned. It just kind of happened, but it was an amazing time. So we went to Vancouver to see a concert, Kendrick Lamar, and oh yeah, that same weekend it was Khalid. What happened to Khalid? Remember that guy that sang? What happened to him? He had like one hit album, and haven't heard from him since. And then we were supposed to see Big Sean, but Big Sean canceled his tour because of some stupid ass reason. And I lost a lot of big respect for him then, and then I lost even more respect for him when I seen him in Las Vegas a few years later. That's another story. But when we were in Vancouver 4 years ago, the plan was to spend a few nights in Vancouver, watch these concerts, and then go up the coast to my buddy's dad's place in Powell River. So you got to take a ferry up there. You gotta, and then like drive up. And we were supposed to get picked up from the ferry, but that never happened. So we had to. Luckily, Richard knew where to go, so we hitchhiked in the mountains. We're hitchhiking in the mountains. This like 2-lane highway, or 1 lane, I guess, whatever you want to call it. 1 lane each, back and forth. Walking forever and ever and ever. After getting off the ferry, luckily it was beautiful, no rain, nothing like that. It was beautiful weather, and like we like each other's company. Obviously, that's why we're friends. So it wasn't like a terrible time, but walking forever, we finally get picked up by this one dude. It was like later at night. He drives us up to like this intersection where he's turning off, and he's like, "This is as far as I can bring you." I'm like, "Oh, we're like, oh, all good." Luckily, this intersection, a few 100 meters away, there was like this hotel that we were able to post up at, but we weren't willing to pay for a night because it was late at night. It was like, I don't know, like 1 and 1 in the morning or some shit, 2 in the morning. So we go to like the main suite where the I don't even know what you call it, the worker that's there. They like live on site. We go there like we're trying to like, oh, do you think you can give us a deal? Like we're only gonna stay for like a few hours, get a few hours of sleep, and then we're gonna keep going, right? We have to be somewhere in the morning. And she's like, no, we can't. I don't have the permission to give you guys a deal, but just around the corner, there's a picnic. There's a picnic table and there's a fire pit there. You guys can use that. Like we're about that. And they had Wi-Fi at this place, so we had Wi-Fi.
Nice.
We had a bottle too, and we were able to make a fire. So
No
it wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
So we just chilled out. We jammed the music and we sipped this bottle and maybe got a little bit of sleep, not even that much. And we actually had to like quote unquote steal some firewood from this dude over there, and I guess he got mad like later, like before we were leaving, or made it a thing or something.
Where's my wood?
Yeah, it's like, dude, you got like piles of this shit. Like we don't just use the bit to stay.
Freeze
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to stay warm, cut. Like, it's freaking cold out there at night. So we ended up continuing on and had a good time there. It was my first time like ever like up into the mountains, like where it's like so secluded and like it's like a little town lifestyle, but like in the mountains. So it's beautiful. It's chill. It's amazing.
This was in the States?
No, this was north of Vancouver, bro.
Oh, okay.
In Powell River. And so we spent a few days there. And then on the way back, we were flying out of Comox, and we ended up doing the same thing at this campsite. We didn't have a tent or anything. We just had our bags, our clothes and shit. This campsite was not too far from the Comox airport. Comox airport's like the tiniest airport I've ever been in. And but yeah, we camped out and did the same thing the night before our flight. We built a fire and just chilled and had a good time. And first time ever hitchhiking, and it was dope. Actually, before I get to the end of the trip where we went to Comox, the night after we made the initial fire, that first night after hitchhiking, it took us forever to get picked up in the morning to bring us to the final ferry. But the person that did pick us up was driving this old school Jaguar, which is the most ironic thing. So I'm like, yo, shit, I got a Jag myself. Of all the cars that passed by, it was this old school Jaguar. This cool dude who's like kind of our age, and it's like, dude, you're driving a Jaguar my age. Like only old people drive this shit, right?
Yeah.
He was super cool. He was super chill, and it was just ironic that the one vehicle that picked us up that second day was a dude in the Jag, and I was like, dude, this is fucking mint. Like it's meant to happen. Everything was meant to happen. So yeah, I'm gonna call that This Week in Sports History because I mean it involved a lot of physical activity. And that year was when Winnipeg was going deep, and I was actually cheering for the Jets to go to the Stanley Cup final because the plan for me was to go to Winnipeg if they did make it to the final to go party. But I've heard since that like Winnipeg, I knew it wasn't like the greatest city, but I've heard since that it gets kind of a shithole in a lot of ways. So maybe it was a good thing that I didn't go and party there. Winnipeg's where it's at.
Don't party in Winnipeg.
Right? The bad things could have happened, right? Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, thank y'all for listening. We're going to do another episode this upcoming week during the week. Hopefully, after we win tonight, win on Tuesday. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, this has been This Week in Sports. Thank you for listening on behalf of my producer. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.